Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Brief.
Rocket alerts have been reported across the south Thursday morning as Palestinian terrorists in the Gaza Strip fire a rocket towards the community of Sderot. The alarms rang out just after 2:30 in the morning Thursday, giving residents less than a minute to wake up and get to the shelters. Thankfully, however, the Iron Dome defense system launched into action and intercepted the attack, preventing serious injury or damages. Hours later, in response, Israeli air forces then reported bombing a Hamas weapons factory in Gaza. But again, no injuries have been reported. And Israel has also announced the restriction of Gaza's fishing zone to 10 nautical miles. It's not yet clear what terror group is responsible for the morning rocket fire, but Israel holds the Hamas terror organization accountable for any attack emanating from the Strip. Hamas is the governing entity. An official Russian delegation is arriving in Israel Thursday for a round of annual diplomatic talks. But tensions are high surrounding the outcome of the meet, as jailed Israeli-American Naama Issachar is at the top of the list for discussion, especially as she's simultaneously set to appeal her conviction in Russian court today. And this also comes just a day after 46 Israelis, including young children, were detained for questioning in Moscow airport with no given reason. While the Israeli Foreign Ministry says it will seek clarifications and explanations regarding the detentions too. Some lasted as long as 6 hours, passports were confiscated, and some passengers were even interrogated in Russian with no translation. And last week, 8 Israeli businessmen were also held overnight in a Russian airport and then deported back to Israel. So pending the results of Thursday's discussions, Israeli officials say that they will review putting restrictions on travel to Russia in the future. As for 26-year-old Naama Issachar, however, it's been 9 months since the backpacker's detention began in Russia. She was arrested for roughly 9 grams of cannabis in her checked luggage as she was stopping over in Moscow on the way home to Israel from India. And independent Israeli groups, celebrities, and officials, including Prime Minister Netanyahu, have all vowed to return her home, as she's largely suspected to be a political prisoner.
קוראים לי קוסם, אבל אני אמרתי לכם, לגבי פוטין, אני לא קוסם, אבל אני מבטיח לכם דבר אחד. אני מביא את נעמה יששכר הביתה.
Russian courts are now preparing to hear Issachar's appeal, though, and some officials in Israel say the public statements may have been a mistake. Speaking with Channel 12 on Wednesday, the unnamed authority says that the Russians prefer to do things behind closed doors, and so making a sensitive issue into an internal political campaign may end up hurting more than it helps. Only time will tell. In other news, the island nation of Cyprus has now become the latest world nation to adopt the broad definition of anti-Semitism as defined by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, or IHRA. And this makes Cyprus the 19th country to officially adopt or endorse this working definition. The Mediterranean nation then explains this move, saying it reaffirms the commitment of the Republic to promoting and fostering respect and diversity, as well as to combating all forms of discrimination. And in fact, Cyprus is so dedicated to this idea that it's also already applied for observer status at IHRA. Well, among those who welcomed the decision first are Isaac Herzog from the Jewish Agency, the American Jewish Committee CEO David Harris, and Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz. Katz tweeted that this is an important step in the fight against anti-Semitism, and essentially the IHRA definition states that anti-Semitism is defined by the double standards, demonization, and delegitimization applied to Jews and Israel. Standard criticism that might be applied to any other country is not included. And other nations to have adopted or endorsed this definition include the UK and Scotland, Israel, Bulgaria, Germany, the Netherlands, France, Hungary, and even the European Union.
That's all for now, but for more news from Israel, remember to like ILTV on Facebook and on Instagram, and to subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.